Ciao, everybody. Draw day for the Belmont Stakes, the Belmont Festival at Saratoga, and a few quick thoughts. Uh, you know, I think a lot more is made out of the draw in certain races than really needs to be. The Belmont Stakes, whether it's run at a mile and a quarter at Saratoga like this year and next year, and perhaps even the year after that, and even when the Belmont Stakes is run at Belmont Park at a mile and a half, I don't think the draw is that significant, and I don't think it has a major impact on the race, and it'll have a major impact on the race, and I don't think it'll have a major impact on the race this year. That said, something happens out of the gate. It happens regardless of what post position the horse is in. So that can certainly have an impact, on the race. Now, the Met Mile, on the other hand, I think the draw this year, as opposed to when it's a one-turn mile at Belmont, but this year it's a 1.5 turn race out of the Wilson Chute, Saratoga, and I think the draw is crucial, and I think it's crucial no matter where you draw. First things first, probably going to get a smaller field than we would have had it been a one-turn mile run at Belmont. Uh, Outside horses certainly at a disadvantage. Inside horses without speed can certainly be at a disadvantage because you've got horses on the outside that are going to be coming out of that gate and have to make that sharp left turn onto the backstretch, and it's very easy to get bottled up. It's why we see such slow times on that Wilson Chute. So for a race that's known as a sire making race, I think the one thing, if anything, that Naira and uh, the Belmont Stakes did wrong is run the Met Mile up at Saratoga. They should have left that race on Memorial Day, one turn at Aqueduct, which they can do. And instead of running, what is it, eight graded stakes or nine graded stakes, they could have ran, 7 or 6 or 8, whatever the number is. Doesn't really matter. But I think that was a mistake, and I think the field side will reflect that. With that, we'll turn it over to Big Race Jim up at the spa for the draw, and a lot more coming at you. So stay tuned to Past the Wire TV.
Thanks, John. We are here at the Saratoga Racecourse in the paddock. Just a short time ago, they pulled the post positions for the Met Mile and the Belmont Stakes. A small field of 6 for the Met Mile. And John, like we had talked about leading up to this race, we were interested to see just how many horses would enter into this race, given that it is coming out of the Wilson Chute. So, small field of 6, but a competitive field of 6. You have White Barrio, you have Castle Chaos, and you have National Treasure for Starlight Racing.
It was really cool when he won the Pegasus. I was involved in getting that thing started and all, and I think he ran a pretty good race in Saudi, and he's like I say, he's come back in good order. So I look for a big effort there too.
Jack Wolf from Starlight Racing commenting there on National Treasure for Bob Baffert, who won the Pegasus World Cup at Gulfstream Park earlier this year. Starlight Racing also has Imagination in the Woody Stevens on Saturday, coming out of a rather disappointing effort in the Preakness Stakes.
I really thought he would run a big race over in the Preakness, and you always look for excuses when the horse doesn't run the way you think it is, and maybe it was track condition, maybe it was not taking the horse to the lead, but in any case, the horse has come back in good order, and Bob decided to ship the horse over here and cut back in distance, and I never second-guessed Bob Baffert's decisions, that's for sure.
Now, moving on to the big race, the Belmont Stakes up here at Saratoga. 10 horses in that field. You've got the Derby winner, Mystik Dan. You've got the Preakness winner, Seize the Gray. And installed as the morning line favorite, Sierra Leone for Chad Brown.
He's been doing great. He bounced out of the Derby, which can obviously be a tough race on horses. He's bounced out well. Shipped up here right away. He's trained really good here. And, just hoping for a good trip. Obviously, we have half as many horses to run down, so that should be hopefully a little easier on him.
Interestingly enough, the Derby winner was third choice on the morning line behind Sierra Leone and Mindframe. We spoke to Ken McPeek about Mystik Dan, how he's coming into the race, and also he touched on his grizzly bear, Thorpedo Anna, who's running on Friday in the Grade 1 Acorn.
I went into the Kentucky Oaks and I told everybody that they better bring a bear because I got a grizzly. And that's where the nickname Grizzly comes from on her. But she is exceptionally talented. I wasn't going to be scared to run her in the Belmont. If I didn't have Mystik Dan to go, I was going to run her. So we think a lot of her. And then the Acorn, I think, is a really good next step for her. She's probably not run her best race yet, I don't think, and I think this very well could be. Mystik Dan's very tactical. You can place him wherever you want. And then people are talking about whether or not it's going to rain or not. So we don't think rain's an issue. For our horse, we know he'll run well on it. It's going to be interesting to see how the pace unfolds, especially with Sierra Leone coming from behind. And so if they do too much early, they're in trouble. And if they don't do enough, then that's another deal.
Also in the Belmont Stakes is Honor Marie for Whit Beckman. Whit was an assistant trainer for Todd Pletcher and Chad Brown, and he talked about that aspect of bringing all of that knowledge and all of that experience into the Belmont Stakes.
I had a lot of exposure from the time I walked into Todd's barn. I remember the day I walked into his barn, he had Rags to Riches, Scat Daddy, Any Given Saturday, Lawyer Run. It was just, who's who of, past champions. So just from that on, just being around it, seeing it, what goes into preparing for these type races, training and, operating at this level. And, when we start our own business, we're kind of hoping that we can attract the owners and the type of horses that it takes to get there, and knowing what it takes to get there. I know it took me a little time, but, it only takes one horse to kind of take you up to that next level.
Don't forget, bet the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival with Amwager. Visit amwager.com for more information and to take advantage of that initial deposit match bonus. 6 horses going in the Met Mile on Saturday, 10 horses for the Belmont Stakes at 1.25 miles here at Saratoga Racecourse.